Good day, everyone. I am Jerry Cotero from BSC English 3B, and today I am going to report or discuss the Hindu literature. Let's first define the Hindu literature. Hindu literature refers to the body of religious, philosophical, and poetic texts that originate from Hindu tradition, primarily in Sanskrit, though many works exist in the other Indian languages as well. So, Hindu literature it revolves in the India country, and the belief of the Indians were Hinduism. Okay, so let us proceed. So we are going to tackle the Mahabharata epic story by Ganesha and Vyasa. The major topic number one, Vyasa, role of the Mahabharata. Now, Vyasa, known as Krishna Dwaipayana, is the sage credited with composing the Mahabharata. So, see, he is the credited composer of the Mahabharata. He aimed to document the epic and impressive text encompassing history and philosophy and spiritual teachings. So, Vyasa wants someone to transcribe his epic story, the Mahabharata. So, he asked advices on the Lord Brahma. No, he wants advice from the Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma said that there is someone who can help you with that. No, and Vyasa approaches this deity. No? The name of this deity is Ganesha, the wisdom deity of wisdom and intellect, to help him with this transcription of his epic story. So Ganesha, the scribe. So here are the conditions for writing. Now, Ganesha agreed to be described the condition that Vyasa must dictate continuously without a pause. And Vyasa countered his condition to Ganesha that must fully understand each verse before writing it down. And the significant events during writings that while Ganesha is writing, he his pen broke. So in order for Ganesha to fulfill his promise that he won't stop writing, so he remove his task and make it as his pen. Okay, now let's proceed to the central narrative of the Mahabharata revolves around the Kurukshetra's war, a great conflict between two groups of cousins in the Pandavas and the Kauravas. So who are these people? There are five Pandavas mentioned in the story: Yudhishthira, Hira, Brima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva. So the Kauravas, led by Duryodhana, are the sons of Dhritarashtra, Pandu's blind brother. So this rivalry between cousins, fueled by jealousy, ambition, and complex familial loyalties, and ultimately leads to war. So here are the major events leading up to the war. Now, the Mahabharata covers many significant episodes before the Kurukshetra War. Kshetra War. This includes the game of dice. In this game, the Pandavas were tricked by um, the they were tricked by the Kauravas. No, they were tricked by the Kauravas, and they have lost their kingdom and being exiled for almost 13 years. Okay, next, the exile of return. So the Pandavas spent 13 years in exile, during which they endured hardships, gained allies, and prepared for their return. So they want revenge and they want to return to retrieve their kingdom and the attempt at peace. Before war, Lord Krishna, a divine incarnation of the close ally, of the Pandavas, no, their ally, the Lord Krishna, attempts to negotiate peace between the two sides. No, they want to be at peace, but the Kauravas refuses, no, especially Duryodhana. No, Duryodhana refuses the settlement. Next is the war, the Kurukshetra's war. And then the war, the core of the epic of the Kurukshetra war, a massive battle lasts 18 days. Imagine a war lasted 18 days. So Mahabharata describes battles, strategies, heroics, and moral dilemmas faced by the warrior. So the Pandavas was survived. No, they survived the war, and some of the major characters were killed, and some survived. Next is the philosophical and spiritual elements, the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita, the Mahabharata, includes one of the most text Hindu philosophy. Oh, this dialogue takes place battlefield just before the war, when where Lord Krishna imparts spiritual wisdom to the hesitant, morally conflicted Arjuna. So Arjuna uh, is a Pandava. The Gita addresses question of duty, righteousness, dharma, and the nature of self. Presenting core Hindu teachings have influenced countless spiritual traditions. So dharma and moral complexity, a central theme of Mahabharata and Dharma, which means duty, morality, and righteousness. The characters faced morally ambiguous situations and complex ethical dilemmas. Okay, so let us proceed. So the characters and their arcs. In the Mahabharata, boast an extensive cast of characters, each with depths and unique qualities. So Draupadi, the shared wife of Pandavas, stands out as a strong, resilient figure who suffers humiliation, but emerge a symbol of defiance and dignity. So Draupada is a as a wife, the shared wife of the Pandavas. The complex character of Karna, born in the son of God but raised in the charioteer, grapples with question of loyalty and honor. Bhishma bound a vow of celibacy and duty, sacrifices his happiness for his oath, illustrating the weight of personal commitments. And that's all in the story of epic story of the Mahabharata.
Good day, everyone. So, my name is Jason Subiaga, and today I am going to share with you about the Hindu literature called Pachantaranta Collection of Fables by Vishnu Sharma. The work consists of five interconnected books, each focusing on a specific themes and offering practical wisdom through a series of story within the story. Pachantaranta is attributed to a scholar Vishnu Sharma. So he is the author of these novels. Is one of India's oldest collection of fables, becoming one of the most widespread texts of Indian literature across cultures and continents. Written in Sanskrit, it dates back to around 200 BCE. The first book of Pachantaranta called Mitra or The Loss of Friends. The book centers on stories about how friendship can be ruined due to misunderstanding, betrayal, or deceit. The primary story involves a lion and a bull who became friends, only to be turned against each other by a scheming jackal. Through various sub-stories, it warms against the dangers of trusting dishonest individuals and highlights the fragility of relationship when communication is lacking. So diri class, pwede nato ni siya malaikin sa ato ang kinabuhi no or into a real life situation na na kay friends, and because of lacking of communications or dishonesty, no, naguba ang trust and everything. The second book, called The Mitchell Laba, or Gaining of Friends. Contrary to the first book, this section focuses on the benefits of building and nurturing friendships. The story emphasizes how strong alliances and genuine bonds can lead to success and protection against adversity. The main narrative revolves around four animals: an elephant, a monkey, a tortoise, and a crow, who help each other through difficult situations, demonstrating the importance of unity, loyalty, and collaboration. The third book, called Kakulukiam, or On Crows and Owls. This book, often regarded as a political and military manual, delves into themes of conflict, resolution, negotiation, and strategy. It uses a food between crows and owls to explore tactics such as espionage, alliance, and war strategies. The stories provide lessons on how to outmaneuver opponents, when to seek peace, and how to assess and motives of allies and enemies alike. The fourth book is called Ladhapranasam, or Laws of Games. The tale of this book cautioned against carelessness, greed, and lack of foresight, as this can lead to the loss of what one has gained. The stories often depict characters who lose their wealth, position, or opportunities because of rash decision or overreaching ambition. Through various characters and situations, it emphasizes the need of prudence, patience, and self control. Now, the last book of Pachantaranta is called Apariksitakarakam, or Considered Action. This book discusses the pitfalls of action without proper planning or deliberation. It highlights stories of individuals who suffer due to impulsive actions, unwise choices, and hasty conclusions. The moral of these stories is often that careful consideration and forethought are essential for success, that rashness can lead to.
Hi everyone, this is Julian, the first discussant of the Panchatantra stories, which is one of the Hindu literature. So, what is Panchatantra? It is a popular collection of Sanskrit beast fables composed about 200 BCE. According to Sanskrit scholar Johannes Herdel, the work has been widely circulated and translated both in India, its country of origin, and throughout the world, of course. This collection was known in Europe as the Fables of Bid-Bai. The work appeared in Western Europe only after it underwent rounds of translation into Pahlavi, Pahlavi or the Middle Persian, Syriac, Arabic, Greek, and Hebrew. At least one version reached the West as early as the 11th century, where the work was translated into Old Castilian and Latin, and later on into German, Spanish, Italian, and finally the English. What is Sanskrit? It is an old Indo-Aryan language in which the most ancient documents are the Vedas, composed in what is called Vedic Sanskrit. That's how it looked like. Beast fables. In beast fables, animal characters are represented as acting with human feelings and motives. Next is it is widely circulated and translated. Where? First in Western Europe. Next in Pahlavi, Middle Persian, Syriac, Arabic, Greek, Hebrew, Old Castilian, Latin, German, Spanish, Italian, and finally the English. Now, let's proceed with the structure and genre of a Panchatantra. First, the structure of a Panchatantra is a framed story where a main narrative introduces characters who tells a series of interconnectedness fables. It is divided into five independent books, each containing multiple stories written in a mix of Sanskrit prose and verse. The genre of the Panchatantra is a Niti Shastra, a treatise on wisdom and proper conduct, and animal fables. It is a story using of animals to teach practical lessons about life, often highlighting cleverness and shrewdness over altruism. So, what is knitting? We can see the word Niti here, the Niti Shastra. So what is Niti? Niti, it refers to knowing how to act smartly and wisely in life. Whether it's about staying safe, like avoiding danger, or taking strong, purposeful actions to achieve joy and success, that is Niti. Now let's move to the content and morals. The Panchatantra is divided into 5 books: The Laws of Friends, The Winning of Friends, Crows and Owls, Laws of Gains, and Considered Action. Each book teaches practical lessons about life, focusing on the interconnectedness of all living things, humans, animals, and nature, based on ancient beliefs about the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The stories use animal characters to reflect human traits like bravery, deceit, and cruelty, showing that valuable lessons can be learned from both humans and animals. For example, even a wild lion in one story learns to become civilized, symbolizing personal growth and adaptation. The overall moral is that understanding and wisdom should extend beyond human relationships to include care for animals and the environment, reflecting the responsibilities of a wise leader. So, the 5 books on different aspects of human and societal interaction, offering insights through engaging narratives. Panchatantra is a collection of stories filled with wisdom that uses animal to symbolize human traits, that teaches practical lessons about life, relationships, and leadership. So it is embedded in ancient beliefs about that interconnectedness of all living things and how it presents life as a continuous cycle where survival and success depends on the traits like cleverness, bravery, and adaptability. That is according to Ryder 1925. Panchatantra teaches that wisdom, adaptability, and understanding are key to solving problems and making good decisions in life. These stories shows that success comes from being clever, learning from mistakes, and understanding the world around us. This is relevant to us since it would help us to navigate challenges in school, relationships, and life. While in society, learning this lesson is important because it helps us to make better choices, act responsibly, and build more thoughtful, connected world. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Johan Bibigrinho and I'm going to discuss to you about the translation, adaptation, and relevance of the stories Panchatantra and Indian literature. The original Sanskrit works, now lost, may have come into being at any time between 100 BCE and 500 CE. It was translated into the Fabili by the Persian royal physician Borzu in the 6th century CE. Although this work also is lost. Syriac translation of it has survived, together with the Arabic translation by Ibn al-Mukafi, who died on 760 CE, known as Kalila wa Dimna for the 2 jackals that figure in the first story. The Kalila wa Dimna lead to various others version, including a second Syriac version at 11th century 11th century version in Greek. The Stephanites Kainalites, from which translations were made into the Latin various Slavic languages. However, it was the 12th century Hebrew version of Rabbi Joel that became the source of most European versions. So who is Ibn al-Mukafi? He was a Persian translator, a philosopher, and also a author. He also known for his lasting contribution to Arabic literature through his own writing and translation of literacy work from Middle Persia into Arabic. So now let's talk about the Panchatantra, translated into 1570 from the from the Italian of Anton Francisco Doni by Thomas North. It is an illustration of a fable about a bird who outwitted by a crab from an 1888 edition of the Panchatantra, published as the earliest English version of Fables of Vidpai, the moral philosophy of Johnny. The 17th century Turkish translation, the Humayun Nama, was based on 15th century Persian version, the Anwar-i Suhali. The Panchantra stories also traveled to Indonesia through the old Japanese written literature and possibly through oral versions. In India, the Hitopadisha, good advice, composed by Naraya Pandit in the 12th century and circulate mostly in Bengal, appears to be the independent treatment of the Panchantara Tantra materials. Also, Leopards deliver the lion's command. 16th century illustration from the Panchantra and 16th century illustration from Kalila Wadimnad, depicting the leopard delivering the lion's command to his council. So the Panchatantra holds a distinguished place in Indian folklore, as it is deeply rooted in the country's rich tradition of storytelling. Indian culture, primarily oral and nature, has been preserved in its stories, philosophy, and tradition through word of mouth and shorty. So storytelling is not just culture, it practice, but vital parts of a child upbringing, the socialization. The formative aspect of this tales lends itself independently to theater production, such as one by the Bengaluru-based performance art Space Jakriti, or the Awakening. Okay. Also, it has also been adapted for television into an animated series titled Tales of Panchatantra in 2004 to 2005. One distinctive adaptation, presented as a puppet show, was aired by ATV and Indian TV channels in 2003. The Panchatantra, inscribed in the 2024 UNESCO Memory of the World Committee for Asia, is recognized as enduring literacy treasure that contributes to preservation and promotion of India's rich traditional and culture documentarial heritage. So that is all my report about the translation, adaptation, and relevance of the story Panchatantra and Indian literature. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Good day, this is Marija S. Samtina, and our topic for today is all about the Bhagavad Gita by Visa. Avilosh, Hindi for Desire, by Ravindranath Tagore. Okay, so Ravindranath Tagore, 1861 to 1941, is best known as a poet, and in 1913 was the first non-European writer to be awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. Okay, so Tagore was also a composer. He wrote the national anthems for both India and Bangladesh, as well as an educator, social reformer, philosopher, and painter. So Tagore, born on May 7, 1861 at Jorasanko Thakur Bari, Bengal, British India. Died on August 7, 1941 at the age of 80. His pen name is Baho Bano Simha. Okay, so he began his career in short stories in 1877 when he was only 16 years old with Bikharini or the Bigger Woman. Tagore effectively invented the Bengali language short story genre. So, um, Bhagavad Gita by Bisa. So Bhagavad Gita by Bisa is a 700 verse Hindu scripture that is part of the epic Mahabharata rather. So it's a philosophical dialogue between Pandava prince Arjuna, a warrior, and his charioteer guide Krishna, an avatar of Vishnu. So it explores themes of dharma, which means the duty, karma, which means action and consequence, and moksha, which means liberation. So a key concept from the action karma yoga, where one performs their duty without attachment to the results. So Arjuna struggle with his duty to fight in a war against his own family exemplifies this. So Abhilash is an indeed a Hindi word meaning desire, but it's not directly related to Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a sacred Hindu text, presents a philosophical framework for achieving liberation through self-knowledge and devotion. So Havilosh delves into a complexities of human desire and its impact on our duty towards fulfillment. So Bhagavad Gita and Abhilash offer profound insights into the human condition, exploring themes of desire, self-realization, and the search for meaning in life. So while Bhagavad Gita as a sacred Hindu text presents a philosophical framework for achieving liberation through self-knowledge and devotion, both works, though from different traditions and genres, converge on the shared theme of the human struggles against desire. The Gita emphasizes the importance of transcending desire through self-control and devotion to a higher purpose, while Tagore's poem explores the intensity of desire and its potential to both motivate and hinder our pursuit of meaning. Both texts ultimately points towards the need for self-awareness and a deeper understanding for our motivations through achieve the fulfillment. So, in conclusion, the Bhagavad Gita and the Abhilash offers timeless lessons about the human experience, reminding us that the pursuit of meaning and fulfillment is a lifelong journey. These works encourage us to engage in self reflection and examining our desires and motivations and actions. This can lead to a greater self awareness and a more fulfilling life. So that would be all, and thank you everyone for listening.
So good day everyone. My name is Julius Antiliano Gumapak and today I am going to discuss the Gitanjali by Tagore. Gitanjali, meaning Song Offerings, in Bengali was first published in 1910. Rabindranath Tagore, a Nobel laureate, poet, playwright, and philosopher, composed the poem in Gitanjali. As a collection of devotional songs, Tagore's spiritual journey, influenced by Indian philosophy, mysticism, and his own introspection, is reflected in the profound verses of Gitanjali. Now for the summary. Gitanjali comprises a series of poems expressing a poet's deep spiritual longing, surrender, and devotion to the divine. So this bullet highlights the central theme of Gitanjali, which revolves around the poet's profound yearning for a connection with the divine. The poems reflect Tagore's emotion and spiritual journey, showcasing his surrender to the higher power of his beget, devotion, which is a common aspect of many spiritual traditions. The next one, the poems are characterized by simplicity, sincerity, and universal appeal, transcending barriers of language, culture, and religion. Tagore's writing in Gitanjali is marked by a clear and straightforward style that convey complex emotion in an inaccessible manner. This simplicity and sincerity allow the poems to resonate with an broad audience, making them relatable to people from various linguistic and cultural backgrounds, regardless of these specific religious beliefs. 3. Through the medium of poetry, Tagore explores themes of love, faith, nature, and the human soul's quest for union with the divine. So in these poems, Tagore delves into the various interconnected themes. Love and faith are central to his spiritual reflections, while nature often serves as a backdrop and that enhances the exploration of these themes. The poems reflect the human desire for unity with the divine, illustrating the inner journey of the soul, seeking connection and understanding. So the last one is the collection reflects Tagore's spiritual journey, influenced by Indian philosophy, mysticism, and his own introspection. This bullet emphasizes that Gitanjali is not just a collection of poems, but a reflection of Tagore's personal spiritual evolution. His works are deeply rooted in Indian philosophical thought and mysticism, which inform his perspective on spirituality. His introspective nature allows him to weave personal experience and insights into the fabric of the poetry, making it rich and meaningful. So this explanation illuminates the depth and breadth of themes and characteristics present in Gitanjali.
Hello everyone, I'm Mary Juniala Asisor. I'm going to discuss the plays and poems of Kalidasa. Here's an overview of Kalidasa's notable plays and poems. Before we are going to discuss the plays and poems of Kalidasa, let us know first the life and works of Kalidasa. Kalidasa probably lived in the 5th century of the Christian era. This date, approximate as it is, must yet be given with considerable hesitation and is by no means certain. No truly biographical data are preserved about the author, who nevertheless enjoyed a great popularity during his life, and whom the Hindus have ever regarded as the greatest Sanskrit poets. We are thus confronted with one of the remarkable problems of literary history, for our ignorance is not due to neglect of Kalidasa's writings on the part of his countrymen, but to their strange blindness in regard to the interest and importance of history fact. No European nation can compare with India in critical devotion to its own literature, during a period to be reckoned not by centuries but by millenniums. There has been in India an unbroken line of savants, unselfishly dedicated to the perpetuation and exegesis of the native masterpieces. Editions, recensions, commentaries abound. Poets have sought the exact phrase of appreciation for their predecessors. Yet, when we seek to reconstruct the life of their greatest poet, we have no materials except certain tantalizing legends and such data as we can gather from the writings of a man who hardly mentions himself. Here the plays of Kalidasa. First is Abhijnana Sakuntala, or The Recognition of Shakuntala. It is a romantic drama about Shakuntala, a king's daughter and her love for King Dushyanta, a classic romantic drama about Shakuntala. King Dushyanta's daughter abandoned by her husband and reunited through a magical ring. Second is Vikramor Vashiyam, or The Hero and the Nymph, a fantasy play about King Pururava's love for the nymph Urvashi. A fantasy play exploring King Pururava's love for the celestial nymph Urvashi, highlighting the tensions between mortal and divine love. Third one is Malavika Agnimitra, or The Tale of Malavika, a historical drama about King Agnimitra's love for Malavika, a beautiful courtesan. A historical drama about King Agnimitra's infatuation with Malavika, a beautiful courtesan exploring themes of love, duty, and social status. Next is the poems of Kalidasa. First is Meghadota, or The Cloud Messenger, a lyrical poem about a yaksha, or mythical being, sending a message to his beloved through a cloud. A lyrical poem where a yaksha separated from his beloved sends a message through a cloud, exploring themes of longing, love, and nature. Second, Raghuvamsha, or The Dynasty of Raghu, an epic poem tracing the lineage of the Raghu dynasty, highlighting King Rama's exploits. An epic poem tracing the Raghu's dynasty, highlighting King Rama's exploits, virtues, and legendary reign. Third one is Kumara Sambhava, or The Birth of Kumara, a poem describing the birth of Kumara, or Lord Kartikeya, son of Shiva and Parvati, a poem describing Lord Kartikeya's birth to Shiva and Parvati, exploring mythological themes. Now, here are the key features. First is classical Sanskrit style. Kalidasa's works embody the elegance and sophistication of ancient Indian literature. Second, mythological themes, drawn from Hindu mythology, legends, and historical events. Third one is romanticism and lyricism. Kalidasa's poetry is renowned for its beauty, depth, and emotional resonance. Fourth one is philosophical undertones, exploring themes of love, duty, morality, and spiritual growth. Next is the influence that we might observe as we read the plays and poems of Kalidasa. First is Indian literature, because Kalidasa's works have inspired generations of Indian writers and poets. Second is art and culture, influence Indian music, dance, painting, and sculpture. Third one is Western literature, translated into European languages, influencing Romanticism and Orientalism. Now let's move to the global recognition for the plays and poems of Kalidasa. First is the UNESCO. Kalidasa's works recognized as part of India's cultural heritage. Second, the world literature, translations and adaptations in multiple languages. Third one is the international scholarly conferences, regular conferences and seminars discussing the Kalidasa's works. That's all for my part. Thank you for listening and God bless us all.